My last speech to the graduating class of 2020. Before I get into this, I would like to do a few thank yous. First, I would like to thank the teachers, for they have worked so hard to help you become better people. I truly appreciate their effort. I would also like to thank your parents for what they have done to help you grow as a person. And I would like to thank our school board and Mr. Anderson for their leadership as they have led through this unprecedented time in our history. Thank you all. And now to the graduating class of 2020. I want you to know that I have truly enjoyed having you here as students. You are one of the most impressive groups of people I've had the pleasure of working with through my career. I don't want to spend my time today here talking about where you're going, but rather about what you've learned. My concern as your principal has never been about how smart you may or may not be, but rather about how much you have or have not learned. I would like to start with a quote that is one of my favorites by Maya Angelou. Do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. This is one of the best classes at learning and doing. Some of you have been better at learning than others, and some of you have been better at doing than others. But as we have come to the conclusion of your senior year, my question to you is, what have you been learning, especially when there has been no school? Let's take a look at what we have had the opportunity to learn. In the past 6 months, the world has come to a stop twice. The first time was when the coronavirus took over and shut down the world, very literally. The later happened when the riots and the Black Lives Matter movement took center stage. So what did you have the opportunity to learn? During the coronavirus, you could have learned or should have learned life is absolutely not fair, and sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do for the betterment of others. You learned to think of others before yourself. You learned how precious life can be. You learned that relationships really do matter. You learned how valuable your teachers were. And as teachers, we learned how important you really were to us. During the riots of 2020, we have learned to listen to others, no matter how difficult or uncomfortable that topic might be. We have learned it is very difficult to understand others until we have actually walked in their shoes. We have learned we have a long way to go to heal the wounds in this country, but we must continue to listen and learn in order to heal those wounds. We have tried to listen to others, reflect upon our own beliefs and our own attitudes. Certainly not to minimize any one thing or group of people, but we have learned over the past 6 months that all lives matter. Black lives, brown lives, LGBTQ lives, young and old lives, fragile lives, and family lives. They all matter. At any moment, any one of these things can be taken away from us. To those I have offended, and to those I may have unintentionally wronged, to those I may have judged, on a personal note, I would like to apologize to you. As I begin to leave you here, my questions for you, the class of 2020. Have you been listening? Have you been learning? And what will you take away from that learning that will help you be a leader? So I leave you with my original quote from Maya Angelou. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. It's been my privilege and honor to have worked with all of you. Moms and dads, Colfax Mingo School Board, community, I now present to you the graduated class of 2020.